brought the most comparative kind of to what you have, but like I said, a little bit heavier as far as weight goes. Swing weight, as far as that goes against your 7-iron, it's 1 point heavier. So it's true D1.
Okay.
So we'll let you hit a few just to establish a feel, B baseline, because you may all of a sudden say, hey, it feels stiff, I don't like this, whatever it may be. And then we can kind of assess from there, because if you say this feels heavy, if not, let's maybe try to bounce into some of those lighter steels and see what it maybe feels like against that. But I'll start kind of as close as I can with what I know is available. First impression feel-wise?
As far as shaft, shaft actually feels fine.
Okay.
It's just the first couple with me, my time was just a little bit off, so not hitting as flush as I would like, but it doesn't feel like I'm struggling to move it around.
Okay, fair. Doesn't feel too immediately heavy though.
No, I don't even. I think I only noticed it really in my grip.
Yep, exactly. That's the other thing too, where like you're swing weighting at that with that grip on there for context. I mean, your grip probably moves it about 2 points, depending how many layers of taper underneath there. It felt like it's just one.
Yeah,
right?
no additional layers.
As long as there's only one under there and that being the bigger grip, it'll move it a point to a point and a half, just depending, give or take, like depending on the tip weight that's in there and things like that. So as far as that goes, like even though I said right D0, probably in reality it's probably closer to actual raw weight of that from a swing weight perspective.
Yeah.
And same stuff. If I threw a mid-sized grip on that, it would just change it immediately.
Yeah, because this end would be much different.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now I'm wondering if my grip, like if there's a mid-size +4 that's lighter than that. Like I don't know. I never actually checked it, so.
Tour Velvet would be the lightest. Is at that point when you're talking like +4s, it's going to put you in like the Align, or it's going to put you in true MCC +4.
Okay.
So as far as that goes, those ones are going to be a more thick corded rubber. Obviously those are rubber, but just for that context, like those will weigh more in terms of the grip, which would obviously move the swing weight even lighter. Is I play MCC +4 mids. So I've played True Velvet +4 mid just to see what it does. It's usually about half a point to a full point heavier, just depending on how many layers of tape I decide to put under it, just based off grip to grip.
Do you play with more than one grip layer of tape?
I like mid +2 wraps. So technically 3 wraps on top of the industry 1. So it's kind of closer to like a true jumbo, but I like that feel of like that true roughness. Like in my hands where it just feels like burn. I hate like True Velvet cord. Like full cord I hate. I hate full cords.
Can't do it.
Yeah, so it's like, trust me, we're on the same page there where it's like, I've tried mid-sized cord, and it just feels terrible.
Yeah, I don't know why people do it, but I mean, everybody likes their own thing. So.
Yeah, 100%. I got this flush. So, I mean, the biggest thing here, right, even though it's heavier, right, ball speed, all those things, relative same, right, spin rate's relative same. I think the bigger thing is, like how you're saying, the right dispersion pattern.
Yeah.
That's the case, an easy way to do it is quick. Right, like that is the easiest way to do it, but it's through weight shaft, not weight head. Context, like, well, we can say, all right, let's just like tape this.
Yeah, I was talking to some friends about that, and it was like, I don't know.
It'll make a bigger difference, like in boosts, for example. Like you can do that where it's easier, if not like the old joke, like hot melt, if you ever heard that.
Yes.
They put hot glue in there.
Yeah.
Like, the only problem with hot melt is once it's in there, you're never getting it out. You're never getting it
You need
out.
multiple heads to get it right.
Correct. So that's where it's like, I it's like that game of like, okay, what's it look like? What's that break point of how good, how bad?
Yeah.
What's it kind of look like? Because you could simply say, hey, listen, I don't feel a difference, and the numbers are the same. It's like, okay, well, does that justify X? I can't answer that question, right? It's not my money to spend.
Yeah.
But that's sometimes the wormhole you'll get stuck in where it's like, what do I do? It's a great question.
Yeah, that's why I'm here.
That is the $1 million thing. And I mean, maybe even another way to do it too, where it's like, obviously today was just unlucky. We caught this play just because of how the schedule was backed. So I'd even go as far as saying like, hey, listen, if you can make it back again, I'm more than happy before we make a decision, like getting one of the bays that has TrackMan. That way we can do live tests, normalize, like see what dispersion is, like really nitpick like those tenths of degrees easier. But listen, I think that could also be an option in our back pocket too. It's like, if we keep seeing numbers like that and there's no immediate change, okay, that's where TrackMan being able to look at all 28 data points would be super easy to say, like, all right, hey, what's this look like? That way we can have all of our ducks in a row, double check against it, right? Try some of those things to say, all right, how crazy is this? Or like, if it's a total crazy build, or it's like, hey, let's test golf balls, right? Let's test some of these things and try to say, all right, how optimal could those be? Is the curve because of shaft? Is it because it can't keep up? What's that look like in terms of that? We have that in our back pocket too. So it's we have plenty of options so we can do that. But I would hit a couple more of that. I recommend those heads, that heavier MNT, that's something you're already used to. That way you can feel that side by side. That maybe sort of kind of jump. How the head itself, how's that feel?
Pretty good. I mean, I'll be honest and say I haven't hit one like actually flush. They're all kind of like low on the toes.
Yeah.
But I mean, as far as the numbers go, like if I hit it, it seems like if I hit it flush, I'll get a few more yards, and the spin will be even better. So that's.
And think of it that way too, right? Like ZXI 5 versus your MIMS, right? Like those tours. The biggest difference is obviously loft perspective at that point, because I'll have you try ZXI 7, which would be closer to yours. Is yours technically versus that head or 2 degrees?
Mine are
those too weak against that.
Okay.
So ZXI 5 is a little bit stronger, a little bit more technically forgiving head.
Gotcha.
So that could be the immediate where, like you said, I'm seeing yardage. That's just more loft. Loft to the head, not so much like, oh man, it's super good. Well, we got to keep things transparent there too. I can't be like, hey, it goes further.
Yeah, because I told them so. It was like I didn't know what loft. I don't know if I had weaker. I'm pretty sure I know I didn't have stronger loft because I know I went from P790s to these.
Yeah.
So I knew I was going to be losing some distance. Yeah. But again, it was like I had the first iteration of P790s, and those things like were all over the place.
Yeah, rockets, and then like. Obviously, again, right, you remember the old school, like, OGs, like, that foam would get hard, and as that foam got hard, they would start to just be super inconsistent.
Yeah.
It's like, man, all of a sudden I went from, like, 180 with 7 iron, now it was, like, 155. What happened? Like, nothing. Like, the head just...
It's like, what's going on?
Yeah, some early manufacturer, let's not do this moving forward.
Well, I mean, they figured out how to do it properly, so...
Give me one more with that, then I'll give you a Titleist.
Which Titleist?
So I'll go T2 to be closer to ZXI 5 just for context. Because T150 would be closer to what you're used to in your King. But at least starting here, because the bigger thing with that Titleist for you will be, like, obviously if you notice a difference in weight, just for context. That guy was flush. Alright. So I'll try to test closer to this than testing closer to yours just from the start. So let's get this thing ripped and see. Because you may immediately notice a difference here, right? But if you say, hey, I feel no difference, the thing to keep in mind though, this 105 stiff is stout. Like, it's a very stout 105. So we'll just test it and see exactly what you think.
Yeah.
Do you notice that to be the more predominant miss? Thin over heavy?
Yeah. Yeah, definitely more thin than heavy.
Yeah.
The only time I do something heavy is if I got a wedge in my hand. It's like a very touchy shot.
Yeah, the touchy-feely off speed. So, see though how like for that exact shot, right, just for context, that goes high, that goes low, then all of a sudden it goes 10 yards further. So the reason it goes further, yes, sure, the ball speeds up, right? It goes without saying. It doesn't require a brain surgeon to tell you the ball's faster. The game at that point though becomes the spin rate, right? Which you already have expressed here, which didn't show itself in the So that's where it's like, okay. You know, that checks and balances. How's that shaft feel? Feel more stout than yours?
As in stiff?
Yeah. Start there. Or still feel like you can move it pretty easy?
I mean, I guess the one thing I noticed, I guess in my shaft, I feel like I have to take it back slow.
Yeah.
In order for like to feel like that point of where I can.
Where it loads?
Yeah.
Yeah.
This I feel. That felt good. You know, it's. I don't have anything negative to say about it.
Yeah.
It doesn't immediately. It just feels like something I would have to get used to.
Yeah.
Just because the timing is different than what I've been doing over here.
Yeah, and that's what I mean, like with that, where it's like I feel like some of the quote unquote dispersion, right, or some of that inconsistency or lack of consistency.
Oh yeah, and I can see it already because there's only been a couple that since we've done this one and this one, like none have really gone that way.
Correct. So that's what I mean, where it's like, now again, right? Obviously, you said you got those 4 years ago, something like that. I mean, speed may have changed, where hey, you got faster, right? Maybe I don't know. Do you play more golf now than you did back then?
No, I mean I will be getting back to it, but a lot of life issues like kept me from playing golf the last couple of years. So.
Understood. But I think if that's the case, right? It's like maybe it's just it worked in like that one small sample size.
Yeah.
Right? Where it's like, hey, it's a one trick, setup.
Trick work.
Yeah. And I mean, it's not a bad thing. I mean, there's a gentleman I've fit now for 3 or 4 years, and he moved here from Cali. And then where he moved from California, like all he had was champions out there. So it's like he got fit, and then like all of a sudden he started getting, kind of in his own head. And it's been like a 5-year climb, just like get into like, all right, just take some breathe, relax. Like just take an objective step back. And they opened one here in town, and he went over there, same stuff. Like he comes in, and all of a sudden he has LAs and everything. And it's like, what happened? Like this is not something we've had or something we dealt with. So like, what's going on? He's like, I don't know, man. He's like, I said balls, and it's just like it's better. It's 20 yards further. I said, okay. So I took him outside, and obviously it was full flight. And he's like, I really wanted to ask him. He's like, my grouping was tighter, but LA is further and tighter. So he's now in about a month. He's ordered a few different shafts to put 7-iron heads to test against our 15s. We have 6-iron, like they do, and then want to connect to use 7s. And now he's done the same test 3 different times. Axiom is actually further, tighter grouping than LA. But the thing that he's seen that he didn't realize there that he wasn't paying attention to was spin rate. His 7 with LA versus the 7 with like Axiom or even MMT, because he's tried this too. These 2 shafts, spin variation, top to bottom, 200 RPM. Off heel, off thin, off toe, even on backswing. His LA is though, where it's like all of a sudden when he peers it, it's okay. But then if he misses, the spin and the curve is almost. So it's like he hit a few where it's like, listen, I played a few rounds of golf. It's like my 7-iron goes anywhere from 180 to 200. Okay. So like we tried to test, titles and this because he has Mizunos. So we're like, all right, that's fine. We can test the level here and at least figure it out. And it's now the same stuff. It's like now he's going back to Axiom, which is what he originally wanted. He's like, I don't know if I got screwed or what happened. I was like, well, think about it. And the only thing that's different is spin. I mean, 7 iron to 7 iron, I mean, you average with Axiom and MM2 7,200, which is great. LA, though, you're averaging 6,000. Get the same spec, the same build, the same swing weight, the same grip.
Is it clear then?
Yeah. But he's like, well, this is wrong. I was like, no, TrackMan's really good when it can see the whole thing. Like, TrackMan inside is not good. That's why we hate TrackMan inside. So if we were inside only, we would only carry a quad.
Gotcha.
Because it's camera based. It's easier to use than a Doppler. That Doppler bouncing back and forth off that screen is terrible. Like, especially drivers. Like, irons, it's okay. Like, I was a club professional before I came here, so I have a TrackMan unit. I hit balls inside. I know what that looks like. Like, I'll hit driver inside 2. If it's full flight, it's 310. But my spin rate outside, 2100. My spin rate inside is always 3500 or higher. At the same strike location, same everything. Like, I've tested against myself. I've looked at numbers. I've looked at like millimeters on the face when it's like, okay, the strike location's the same. It averages the same. It's like, what's going on here? That's where it like just shows you TrackMan is never exposed potential inside.
Gotcha.
Because it cannot figure. It's taking a very good guess. Like, listen, it's still smarter than me just having you hit balls into screen and like, that sounded good. Like, well, yeah, it sounded good. How'd you feel? Okay.
That one was spinning?
Yeah, that's where you can kind of start to play the game a little bit more. But that's where I do think, like, for you especially, like, if you're open to the concept of coming back, I would love to see what it looked like inside, like, over on one of our TrackMans, so I can see those little micro numbers, because that's where something has to be wrong. I don't even necessarily, I think the weight obviously is light, but I need to see like those ones that go left with yours. What is it? Is it a strike location moving a millimeter across the face, right? Is it maybe I just tweak the Y on yours and then all of a sudden we can tighten up some of that? Because that's my other thing, right? I'm not big into selling you $2,000 set of irons, just sell you $2,000 set of irons. Like, I need to have that concrete behind us. And again, immediately, hey, I get it. It's not starting left now.
Yeah.
It's better. And it's definitely not starting at target, and then the wind's not hitting it nearly as bad, like, right? So it's doing a better job staying in the window. But like launch and spin perspectives are damn near the same.
Yeah.
So it's like that makes no sense, you know what I mean? Like, yes, the ball speeds up a little bit, but that's a simple factor, right? That's just law. We already know that. That's the control. Like, yeah, the ball speeds faster. Yeah, well, that checks out. It's a little further. Yes, that checks out. Like, those things all make sense. But at that point, there's got to be something when those start to go bad. There's something that has to stand out. There's got to be some massive difference. But that's where it's like, sadly, you need all 28 parameters to figure out, all right, where is it?
Yeah, like what is missing?
Yeah, like, hey, maybe dynamic line gets crazy on those ones where it's like, okay, hey, here's the good news. It's actually something in the golf swing. Easier fix than clubs at that point. Because there's the thing, I build against defense on the one bad one of 20. I don't want to sacrifice the other 19 that are good. Like, that's a smidge heavy, but I mean, my context is it's like that one, right? It still starts right to fall left, but even then the wind didn't get it too bad.
Yeah.
Relatively to the target line. That's just more, I think, the bigger thing, where it's like, if we can try to like prove or disprove and then test the weights, right? And see what's really the driving factor of it. See what it is.
You're recommending I make another.
I am, because I don't want any doubts. I don't want any doubts for you any more than I want any doubts for me either.
Well, then I would have to get you as the same club fitter.
That's fine.
But because when I called to set up an appointment, she was like, "Oh, it's just random.
You can request. That's fine. I know my schedule, so even if it's something where, hey, we got to come back in a week or two, I know my schedule to the point, so that's okay. Like, I was pure. Because I do think, again, if that's the case, like, it's random if someone has no preference. Someone has preference, there's no randomness to it. It's like, all right, this is who you want to work with, this is who you want. That's where it's like, yeah, myself, I'm more than happy to be the one to do it, and not I'm more than happy to put you in one of my other guys that I have 100% confidence in, but making sure it's on track. To really nitpick those differences to say, okay, is it the head, is it the shaft, is it mixtures of both? What's driving the boat here? That would be my standpoint, because at least at that point, whether we say, hey, listen, you're actually good, we just need to maybe tweak the line a little bit, fine. But at that point, I'd rather you spend $40 to get the lie adjusted than spend $1,600 or $1,700 on a set to change out, or saying, hey, here's $800 worth of shafts to rebuild, and then say, all right, well, I still have my same head.
Yeah, I really don't want to do that. That's why I'm here, is to avoid spending
But that's what I mean.
unwanted dollars.
You're my fourth fitty today. So far, I've had 2 keep its. One we're just reshafting. He bought heads off the rack, like this year's heads. It's like, listen, man, you're spending 100 miles an hour. You bought regular flex. This is not going to work. But those heads are brand new, so it's like, this is more beneficial. He's like, I agree. He's like, I like the head. So we just tested his head with different shafts. And he's like, all right, you need dynamic electrical to do that. It's fine. It's $30 a shaft. That's not crazy. We can work through this. This is more cost effective than you trying to trade it back to me or sell them to somebody else. Or let's just play the game organically here. Same stuff. I mean, in the keep its, one guy, he needed tweaks in his 7, 6, and 5. The short irons are great. But it was like, all right, we just need like a quarter degree here. Like, all right, retest it, and all of a sudden it's like, oh, hey, that's way better. It doesn't take much. But if I can save you money, if you're okay coming back, I'd rather do that first. If you're okay with that.
Yeah, it'd have to be, likely have to be next week, so I'm unavailable the rest of the week. So.
I'm here, the only days I'm off next week, I'm off Tuesday, Friday. Other than that, I'm here every day. And I'm here pretty much open to close on all those other days.
Yeah, well, okay. I won't be back until...
Because the good news for you, just for context, right, to keep things level for you, yours didn't show anything other than obviously maybe curving a little too much. But they didn't show anything as far as like that spin consistency or inconsistency that you described, where it's not from a launch perspective and it wasn't from an immediate spin perspective. The only thing though, like, hey, maybe it curves too much randomly at the wrong time, you know what I mean? And then that spin drops. But even those ones that curved a little too much left, the spin didn't really drop. Like I'd hoped to see what's like, okay, hey, perfect. Like that's what you're hoping to see. But if not, like I said, it's easier for me to control that environment in there because that's all right. There's no guessing. I can almost track man out regardless of wind, regardless of temp, regardless of interface, downwind or whatever. We can keep those things neutral, but then at that point, it's more paying attention to clip pad dynamics, what's happening through that one. It's not even so much, I don't even care what the ball's doing at that point. It's more, okay, where's the cause? Because there has to be an immediate cause though to where that one just does not spin.
Okay.
If you're open to it.
I mean, I am. I mean, I'd like to get in. I'd like to figure out, you know, what ideally is going to, what tools are going to serve me best.
Yeah.
Because if the shafts are right now, like, because like just seeing what I saw, it's like, okay, if I change the shaft